Let's talk about the serious crisis that affects public higher education in the United States. First, let's be clear what that is. In the United States in the year 2011, approximately 15 million of our citizens attend colleges and universities. Over 12 million out of those 15 million attend a public college or university. That means that the overwhelming bulk of the highly trained, highly skilled workforce we produce in this country is produced by the public sector, by public universities, sustained by public funds. The future of the American economy depends as much on the quality and the quantity of these well-trained college and university graduates as it depends on anything. Our future as an economy and as a society is in many senses dependent on public higher education. How strange it is then that the current economic crisis that the public education system had nothing to do with producing is forcing many of the 50 states in our country, almost all of them, to cut back on the support they give to public higher education, to fire teachers, to cut back on programs, to close whole departments, or to demand more money out of students and their families at a time when they can least afford it. We are damaging the most important institution that trains our workforce and that will shape our economy. That's a response to the current crisis that amounts to shooting yourself in the foot. It means long-term suffering is the solution to a short-term suffering, and that makes no sense at all. Let's be real clear that something deep and dangerous is happening here, because there are other reasons beside the crisis for taking out the problems of our states on the backs of public higher education. American corporations have been deciding for decades now to move manufacturing jobs across the world out of the United States, to provide work in China, in India, in Asia, in Africa, and Latin America, instead of them to Americans. Over recent years, there's now a flood of moving jobs that are not manufacturing, that are supervisory, that are technical, that are professional. Those are the kinds of jobs for which university education is required. And American corporations have decided it's cheaper to hire an engineer, a draftsperson, a technically equipped graduate from a cheaper university system in India than one here in the United States. Well, if you're getting your jobs and your trained workers outside the country more and more, then business calculates who needs higher education here in the United States for millions. We're not going to hire them. We're going to hire their cheaper counterparts abroad. So what's beginning to happen is a collapse of the support of the dominant social group in America, business, for public higher education. They don't need it for their profits, so we don't get it for the education of our children. To allow this situation to continue is to become part of a process that is driving the United States to a lower and lower standard, not only of economic well-being, but of culture, of education, and of all the things that make a civilized society. It is long past due for the people of this country to recognize that so long as what governs business decisions are the bottom line of profits, not only are the jobs disappearing, but the educational system of the United States is being deconstructed. Only if the people of America became their own boards of directors, if the wealth and the enterprises really were responsive to the needs of the people, would this process stop. It is a self-destructive act to undermine public higher education in the name of a crisis, when the same economic system, capitalism, is driving both of those crises upon us.